And this is what a relatively healthy weekly food shop looks like for us. And no, this wasn't a fitness influencer shop. Most people think healthy eating means chicken, broccoli, and suffering. But this shop includes burgers, cheeses, pastry treats for the wife's weekend breakfast. We've got damage limitation meals such as southern fried chicken, air fryer fodder for that night you just can't be bothered to cook. But then we've also got good protein sources, vegetables, and good sources of fibre and starchy carbohydrates. You see, sustainability isn't about suffering. Having normal balanced meals that are tasty and something to look forward to is how you make eating healthy a habit you can always do, not picture perfect every day for the short time you can actually face it. The point here isn't perfection. As you can see, this isn't a wish list order, it's a real order that we place. Now, I actually tracked this week in Chronometer, and a few interesting things showed up that could be tweaked for next week's shop. Here you'll see a 7-day report that shows a breakdown of the weekly average. Nutrition probably makes more sense viewed across a week rather than a single day, and that's because vitamin deficiencies and overdoses usually take months to accumulate, and so a weekly overview makes most sense. So for a warts and all review of this shop ahead of next week's potential tweaking, my vitamin D was lower than I'd like, my fibre still has room to improve, my vitamin K is absolutely off the charts, which probably means I'm eating enough greens for a small horse. My sodium intake was higher than expected too, and it seems mostly from chicken breasts and protein shakes, so that's something I might tweak next week. I should point out as well that I use protein powder most days while I'm dieting, and that helps keep my protein high without massively increasing calories. So the protein sources on that weekly shopping list aren't the only places that it comes from. I also supplement with omega-3 as well. When I'm dieting and my fat's lower, it's harder to get that in. I haven't factored the cost of the protein or the omega-3s, and these aren't cheap, but I shall save that for another video. Now, we use Sainsbury's online because of the life hack of a repeatable order that's low mental fatigue, and there's no gaps between the food running out and our next trip to the supermarket, which brings that risk of the bridge gap takeaways. And some would argue that the expense of the £2 to £5 delivery adds up and is a waste of money. But life hack aside, the time, not to mention fuel, of driving to the shop, marching a trolley around for an hour, and coming back home isn't to be sniffed at. I mean, what's your time worth? Even at minimum wage for 90 minutes, that's over £19 every week. To be fair, this order came in at £119.80 all in, which for 2 people and a dog that just dreams of getting his paws on it isn't particularly cheap, but it is 2026. Watch out for part 2 where I duplicate this order in Aldi and see how much money could be saved for the slight inconvenience of actually driving to the shop to collect it. Follow me for tips on how to sustain healthful eating long term.